Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please subscribe and keep watching for more detailed videos. Candace Cameron Bure has always been more than just an actress. She's been a voice of compassion, resilience, and steady faith for millions who admire her both for her Hallmark legacy and her real-life strength. In moments of public tragedy, when communities feel shaken, she steps forward not to seek attention, but to extend her heart in ways that remind people they are not alone. Recently, when grief spread far and wide because of heartbreaking events that touched countless families, Candace once again turned her spotlight outward. Instead of centering herself, she used her platform to pay tribute, to honor, and to help bring comfort during an incredibly painful time. Her words carried weight, not because they were scripted or polished, but because they reflected raw sincerity. Those who have followed her for years could instantly recognize the depth of her empathy. In a world where celebrity statements sometimes feel detached or obligatory, Candace's tribute stood apart. It was deeply personal, deeply moving, and full of the kind of warmth that only comes when someone truly feels the pain of others. People listened, and they didn't just hear an actress, they heard a friend, a sister in faith, and a woman who knows what it means to stand beside people in sorrow. For those unfamiliar, Candace has always tied her public image closely to her values. She doesn't hide her belief in faith, kindness, and family-centered living. That makes her tributes during times of tragedy even more powerful. When she speaks, she does so with conviction, leaning into a belief system that has carried her through her own struggles. Her tribute wasn't about drawing attention to herself. It was about acknowledging the collective hurt, lifting prayers, and gently encouraging everyone to hold one another close. The response was overwhelming. Fans, friends, and even strangers flocked to her message, leaving thousands of comments expressing gratitude. Some shared their own stories of grief, while others admitted that her words brought them to tears. Many said they felt seen, as though someone had finally articulated what their hearts were feeling but couldn't put into words. This is where Candace's gift truly shines, her ability to translate heavy emotions into words of comfort, into tributes that feel timeless. Tributes are not simply about mourning. They are about remembering, about uniting people across distances and backgrounds, and about validating the emotions that tragedies stir up. Candace's tribute did exactly that. By speaking openly, she reminded people that even in the darkest moments, kindness, compassion, and love are not only needed but can also be the very things that carry communities forward. Her voice became a soft but powerful echo in the midst of pain, reminding those hurting that light can still shine through brokenness. Her career has long made her a household name, especially because of her association with Hallmark. Viewers have seen her portray roles centered on family, love, resilience, and hope. But beyond the screen, when she speaks during times like this, she shows that those themes aren't just part of a movie script, they are deeply woven into her own life. Her tribute carried that same Hallmark sense of heartfelt connection, but it was stripped of fiction. It was real, raw, and honest. What many appreciated most was her refusal to minimize the tragedy or rush into moving forward. Instead, she lingered with grief. She acknowledged the depth of loss, the injustice of what had happened, and the aching questions that come when tragedies unfold. She reminded everyone that it's okay to mourn deeply, to sit with sorrow, and to not have all the answers. This gave many people permission to feel without guilt, to recognize that grief is a natural, necessary process. Candace also used her tribute to uplift those directly affected, not just in vague terms, but in a way that centered their humanity. She called for empathy, for prayers, and for a renewed commitment to cherishing loved ones. She reminded everyone that life is fragile, and every hug, every phone call, every shared meal matters more than we often realize. These reflections transformed her tribute from a simple message into a call to live more intentionally, to appreciate the present, and to draw closer to one another. Her tribute wasn't just about the moment. It was about what comes after. Public tragedies often spark temporary waves of empathy, but then people move on, and the ones most affected are left to grieve in silence. Candace, however, emphasized that remembrance should not fade when the headlines do. She urged people to keep showing up, to keep praying, to keep supporting long after the rest of the world has turned its attention elsewhere. In doing so, she gave a gentle reminder that true compassion is not a one-time act but a continual commitment. Another powerful element of her tribute was the way she infused hope into her message without erasing pain. She didn't rush to offer cliches or oversimplified phrases. Instead, she acknowledged how difficult healing can be. Yet, she balanced that with words of encouragement, speaking of the strength that can come through unity, of the small glimmers of hope that surface even in despair. This combination, honesty about grief and belief in eventual healing, struck a chord with many who felt stuck in despair. Social media often becomes a space where negativity spreads faster than kindness. But Candace's tribute became an exception, creating a ripple effect of compassion. People began sharing her words, tagging their own loved ones, and using the moment to reconnect with family and friends they had drifted away from. In this way, her tribute didn't just honor those lost, it sparked action among the living. It made people pause, reflect, and choose connection over division. It is also worth noting the bravery it takes for public figures to step into these moments. In an age where every word is scrutinized, celebrities often shy away from public tragedies for fear of saying the wrong thing. But Candace chose to speak anyway, not out of obligation, but because silence would have felt like abandonment to those in pain. Her courage to use her voice reminds us that leadership isn't about avoiding criticism, it's about standing with others when it matters most. Those who know her history won't be surprised. Candace has always been consistent about being present during difficult times. Whether it's through raising awareness for charitable causes, publicly supporting families in crisis, or speaking about her own personal challenges, she has built a reputation as someone who doesn't run from hardship. Her tribute was a continuation of that pattern, reinforcing the image of a woman who not only plays roles of compassion on screen but embodies them off-screen. The magnitude of her tribute is also seen in the way it connected across generations. Older fans found comfort in her steady faith, younger fans felt inspired by her openness, and families appreciated the reminder to cherish time together. In a fractured world, her message acted as a bridge, offering something relatable to every listener. It wasn't flashy or complex. It was simple truths spoken with authenticity, and that's often what resonates the most. Tributes like these linger. People remember the words, but more importantly, they remember how those words made them feel. Candace's tribute made people feel less isolated, more valued, and deeply cared for. In times of public tragedy, that feeling is priceless. It can be the difference between despair and resilience, between shutting down and finding the courage to keep going. That is the power of her voice, her empathy, and her unwavering dedication to lifting others up. As time passes, the memory of her tribute will likely stand as one of the defining examples of how public figures can respond with grace. She reminded the world that tributes are not about spotlighting the one giving them. They are about centering the people who are hurting, amplifying compassion, and giving people hope. And Candace did just that. Her words were not just heard. They were felt, and they continue to ripple outward in ways she may never fully realize. Her decision to speak was a reminder that grief belongs to everyone, not just the directly affected. When tragedy strikes, whole communities are impacted, even those who may not have known the victims personally. Candace's tribute validated those feelings, showing that empathy has no boundaries. In her heartfelt message, she invited everyone into a shared space of mourning, but also into a shared space of healing. This is the legacy of Candace Cameron Bure, not only her roles on screen but her presence off-screen when it matters most. Her tribute during this public tragedy is a powerful reminder of the importance of compassion, the strength of empathy, and the timeless value of love. In moments where words often fail, she found the right ones. And because of that, countless hearts found a measure of peace, even in the middle of heartbreak. Come back to our channel for all your updates. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my channel.